In the stark landscape of Rochester, Michigan, on a chilly leap year day in February 1956, a baby girl was born into a world she would never come to understand. Born to a mother too young and a father she would never meet, Aileen Carol Pittman entered an unforgiving world. By her 11th birthday, Aileen had started to walk down a path of vice, exchanging innocence for survival. But it was not until the late 1980s that Aileen, now Wuornos, would capture the nation's attention, morphing from a troubled soul to an infamous serial killer. The Florida highways would become her hunting ground, the stage for a chilling narrative of murder and deceit. From 1989 to 1990, she made a deadly name for herself, preying on male clients she solicited for sex. 7 men, seemingly random, fell victim to her deadly scheme. Each man was shot dead, robbed, and their lives extinguished on her account. Aileen insisted these acts were self-defense, the result of violent assaults against her. But the jury thought otherwise. Aileen's childhood was as tumultuous as they come. Raised by alcoholic grandparents, she was introduced to sex and violence at a tender age. Her only refuge was a path of self-destruction. She was only 14 when she fell pregnant, the result of a horrific rape by a family friend. Outcast by her family, she took to the woods, supporting herself the only way she knew how: prostitution. As we delve deeper into Aileen's life, we uncover a series of criminal activities that marked her path to destruction. Drunken driving, assault, and robbery were all precursors to the terrifying acts she would later commit. In the mid-1980s, Aileen met Tyria Moore, a motel maid. Their relationship, a twisted tale of love and desperation, further fueled Aileen's spiral into the abyss. This bond would play a pivotal role in the series of murders that rocked Florida to its core. Across the span of a chilling 12 months, Aileen extinguished the lives of 7 unsuspecting men, their ages ranging from 40 to 65. Richard Charles Mallory, a 51-year-old electronics store owner, was her first victim, shot multiple times after a cruel dance of violence and violation. David Andrew Spears, a 47-year-old construction worker, became her second prey, his naked body riddled with 6.22 caliber bullets. Charles Edmund Carskaddon, a part-time rodeo worker aged 40, was her third kill, his life silenced by 9 shots. Peter Seams, a retired merchant seaman of 65 years, went missing after encountering Aileen. His car was found abandoned, but his body never. Troy Burris, a 50-year-old sausage salesman, was reported missing and later discovered dead, 2 bullet wounds marking his end. Charles Richard Humphreys, a retired U.S. Air Force major and former child abuse investigator, met his demise with 7 gunshots to his head and torso. Lastly, Walter Gino Antonio, a 62-year-old trucker and security guard, was found near naked and shot 4 times in a remote location. Each man fell under Aileen's violent storm, their murders contributing to a grim tally that painted a dark portrait of serial murder. Aileen's time would eventually run out. On January 9, 1991, the authorities arrested her at the Last Resort, a biker bar in Volusia County, Florida, on an outstanding warrant. Simultaneously, the police had located and approached Tyria Moore, Aileen's partner, in Pennsylvania. Moore agreed to cooperate with the police in exchange for immunity from prosecution. Moore returned to Florida with the police and, under their guidance, made numerous telephone calls to Wuornos. Through these calls, 3 days later on January 16, 1991, Moore was able to elicit a confession from Wuornos. Aileen claimed that the men she murdered had tried to rape her and that she killed them in self-defense. In court, Aileen was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder. Despite pleas of self-defense, she was found guilty of 6 murders and sentenced to death. On death row, Aileen's defiance never waned. Her accounts of the murders wavered, moving from self-defense to robbery, her truth ever changing. Yet, she remained steadfast in one regard: her disdain for the society that she believed failed her. Her end came in 2002. Executed by lethal injection, Aileen's last words echoed her defiance. "I'll be back." She left behind a legacy that continues to puzzle and horrify. The examination of her life poses difficult questions about the impact of a traumatic past on the human psyche. Aileen Carol Wuornos, a name synonymous with chilling brutality and bewildering tragedy. Her story is a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface, waiting to emerge.